Hey guys, welcome to linguamarina. Today the topic of our video is tenses in English. I know they can be very confusing, but there are certain tricks that can help you identify the right tense. There are certain rules that are easy to remember, and I hope that by the end of this video you will be able to confidently tell the difference between present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. It's very important that you grab a piece of paper and pencil and get ready to write things down. Please welcome our teacher at LinguaTrip, Anastasia, who's going to help you conquer all tenses in English.
Hello and welcome to this class. Today we're going to cover the 12 tenses that all English students struggle with. This topic is very important because if you confuse tenses in English or can't use them effectively when speaking, you will find it hard to communicate effectively. In fact, every single student I've ever had, no matter how advanced their level, has had some problems with tenses. Some can't switch between tenses quickly enough when speaking. Some can't understand the difference between the past simple and the present perfect. There are also those who often make mistakes with verb forms. In this lesson, we'll address all these issues and make sure you understand all 12 tenses once and for all. Without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you should understand is that instead of 12 tenses, there are only 3 tenses in English: past, present, and future. Much like in most languages. What about the 12 tenses, you ask? You'll get this number when you consider the 4 aspects of verbs. They are simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. Look at this table. As you can see, when we combine 3 tenses and 4 aspects, we get the famous 12 that everyone keeps talking about. So the tenses show us when the action takes place, while the aspects give us additional information about the action and show if it's a completed action, a continuous action, and so on. Basically, they show us how the action is happening. Let's begin with the simple aspect. This is the aspect we use most when we are just starting to learn English. This aspect usually indicates facts or generalizations, repeated actions, or single completed actions. For example, the present simple is used to talk about 1. Present facts and generalizations. I live in LA. It's a fact. LA is a big city. Another fact. Teenagers spend too much time on their phones. Generalization. Not all teenagers do this. 2. Repeated actions in the present, like daily routines or hobbies. I study English twice a week. I go to the gym every day. I play golf on Sundays. The past simple is used in a very similar way, only this time the actions happen in the past. 1. Past facts and generalizations. I didn't live in LA when I was a kid. That's the same fact, but this time it's a past fact. He didn't like to play golf before. I lived in Europe for 6 years. 2. Repeated actions in the past. I studied English twice a week. When I was in college, I went to the gym every day. When I was younger, I played golf on Sundays. As you can see, these are the same repeated actions, only now they happened in the past. We can also use the past simple in some other situations. 3. A single action in the past. For example, I got a phone call a few minutes ago. Yesterday, I saw a cute fat cat in the window. She didn't go to work last week. All these actions are in the past, so we use them in the past simple. It can be one action or a series of actions. 4. A series of actions in the past. When you watch an action movie, you often see a lot of action on the screen. One action is quickly followed by another and then another. Think of it as the past simple. The criminal stole the money, ran out of the bank, and hid behind the corner. I finished dinner, loaded the dishwasher, and went to bed. Something similar will happen with the future simple. It can be used to talk about facts and generalizations that will happen in the future. 1. Future facts and generalizations. People will read less in the future. Generalization. Not all people will read less. I will be an actor when I grow up. 2. Repeated actions in the future. When I retire, I'll play golf every day. I'll go to the movies twice a week. We can also use the future simple when we volunteer to do something or make a promise. For example, I'll help you carry your bags. Voluntary action. I promise I'll come home early. Promise. I'll take care of your cat. Don't worry about it. Promise. For voluntary actions, imagine a person who is always super enthusiastic about helping. When you say it's too hot in the room, he or she will immediately say, "Wait a minute, I'll turn on the AC." If you have an important project, you'll hear, "I'll help you." You're deciding who's going to cook dinner tonight? They'll say, "I'll do it." A quick review. Which tense should we use to talk about a habit in the past? The past simple. 2. Which tense do we use to volunteer to help? The future simple. 3. Which tense would you use when making a promise? Again, the future simple. 4. Which tense would you use to tell a fact about yourself? The present simple.
Let me quickly pause the video here and tell you that if you love Anastasia and if you like the way we teach English, we have an amazing sale going on right now, which is a summer sale to take our best-selling course from intermediate to advanced. In this course, we not only cover tenses in depth, we also teach you vocabulary that you need to become advanced. We also cover other topics of grammar that you need to be confident in order to be an advanced English language speaker. And if you purchase the course, you get 3 months of access to our Speaking Pro Club for free. In the Speaking Club, you can practice your conversational skills in real-life situations. Plus, you'll also get my interactive English as a Lifestyle workbook. The course is created for busy individuals who want condensed information and a lot of practice. You will have access to 40 pre-recorded classes. Your homework is going to be checked by professional teachers. You will get access to Q&As. You will be able to print out additional materials that are also part of the course. Check the link down below, and I hope that this summer your English will finally become advanced.
Let's move on. Aspect 2. Continuous. You may also hear it called progressive. The continuous aspect emphasizes the ongoing nature or duration of an action. It's often used to describe actions that are in progress at a given time. Let's begin with the present continuous. 1. An action that is happening now. Now is a very small, limited period of time, at this very moment. We are now having a lesson on tenses. 2. An action that takes place over a period of time. This period can be longer or shorter, but is still temporary. I'm studying English this year. I'm working from home this month. Compare these two sentences. I study English. That's a fact about me. Maybe I love English and plan to study it all my life. I'm studying English. It's a temporary action. I'm only studying it for a period of time. We can also use the present continuous to talk about the near future, especially if you've already made some arrangements for it. 3. An action in the near future. I'm flying to LA tomorrow. Are you going out tonight? As you can see, if I'm flying to LA tomorrow, I've already bought the plane tickets and made a hotel reservation. So I'm about 90% sure I'll be going to LA the next day. Now, let's take the present continuous and move it into the past. We're going to get the past continuous. We use the past continuous to talk about long actions in the past. These actions can describe the atmosphere. The birds were singing, the sun was shining. Happened simultaneously. I was taking a walk while Josh was working in the office. Be interrupted by a shorter action in the past, usually in the past simple. I was taking a shower when I heard a strange noise. Happen at a specific time. What were you doing at 7 p.m. yesterday? I was watching a movie at 7 p.m. yesterday. Remember how I compared the past simple to an action movie? Well, the past continuous can easily be compared to a horror movie. Imagine an opening scene of a typical horror movie. It would probably be a dark and gloomy place. You could describe it like this. The wind was blowing, the clouds were moving quickly across the sky, the dogs were barking wildly. I was sitting at home watching a movie when suddenly I heard a strange noise coming from my garage. So, you get the idea. The future continuous. We use it for long actions in the future. These actions can happen at the same time. I will be walking while Josh will be working in the office tomorrow. Be interrupted by a shorter action in the future, usually in the present simple. I will be cooking breakfast when you come. Or, happen at a specific time. What will you be doing tomorrow at 7 p.m.? Tomorrow at 7 p.m., I will be watching a film. That's it. Time for a little review. Which tense will you use to talk about a long action in the past? The past continuous. Which tense do you use to talk about something that is happening now? The present continuous. Which tense do you use to describe a long action interrupted by a shorter action in the future? The future continuous. Which tense should I use to tell you about my plans for the near future? The present continuous. Great! Let's keep going. The next aspect is the perfect aspect. It's the aspect that many students find the most complicated. The perfect aspect shows the relationship between two different times. It often emphasizes the completion of an action relative to another time, or the relevance of a past action to the present. Simply put, this aspect often describes events that happened before a certain time, and our attention is on their result. As always, let's begin with the present perfect. We usually use it in two situations. 1. An action that took place in the past, but has an effect on the present. No time specification, so we don't specify when it took place. 2. An action that started in the past and has continued until now. Let's begin with the first case. 1. An action that took place in the past, but has an effect on the present. No time specification. It can be our experience. Imagine making a list of your accomplishments, things that you've done up to the present day. You're not interested in expressing when they happened. You have the past simple to deal with that. You just want to remember that these things happened in your life. For example, I've been to London 5 times. I've never done any extreme sports. I've learned 5 foreign languages. I've been on television a few times. Compare them with the same sentences in the past simple. He went to London 5 times. He never did extreme sports. He learned 5 foreign languages. He was on television a few times. These sentences sound somehow final, as if the person being spoken about is dead or can't do them anymore for some reason. In fact, if a person were dead, we could use the past simple for all his or her actions, because there is nothing more he or she can do. However, people who are still alive have a chance to do the same things again. Compare these two sentences. I've been to London twice. I'm thinking of going back next summer. Poor Josh, he never went to London. It's a shame he never saw it. In the first sentence, the person is alive. In the second, He is either dead or for some reason won't get a chance to go to London. You can always ask others, have you ever? Have you ever been to London? Have you ever been on television? Have you ever broken a bone? All of these questions ask you about a particular moment in your life, but you'll use the past simple as soon as you add details or time. Have you ever been to London? Yes, I have. I've been to London twice. The last time was in 2021. To recap, we often use the present perfect when an action happened in the past, but it somehow affects the present. It can be your experience, your accomplishments, or simply things you've done or never done in your life. You'll never say when these actions happened, but you can say how often they happened. For example, once, twice, 3 times, never, and so on. 2. We can also use the present perfect for actions that began in the past and have continued to the present. For example, I've lived in LA for 7 years. I'm still living in LA. We often use the present perfect to show how things have changed over time. People have become much more independent and are still becoming more and more independent. The advent of technology has changed the way people live and is still changing our lives. Both actions are still in progress. There is only one use of the past perfect that you should remember now. An action that happened before another action or time in the past. You'll often see the time expressions by the time, before, and when in such sentences. By the time I got home, she had already cooked dinner. So first, she made dinner, and then I came home. She had never been to the West Coast before coming to California. When I called him again, he had already left for work. By 10 p.m. last night, she had already gone to bed. So, for the future perfect, the situation is very similar. We use it to describe an action that will take place before another action in the future. By the time you get home, she will have already left. By tomorrow morning, they will have already signed the contract. Time for a little review. Which tense should I use to show that an action took place before another action in the past? The past perfect. Which tense do we use to talk about our experience? The present perfect. Which tense do we use to show change over time? Again, the present perfect. Which tense do we use to answer this question? At which time tomorrow will you have finished the project? The future perfect. We will say, I will have finished the project by noon tomorrow. Finally, the perfect continuous aspect in English is used to emphasize the duration or continuity of an action or event that began in the past and is still continuing or has just finished. It combines elements of both the perfect aspect, which shows the completion or relevance of an action to a point in time, and the continuous aspect, which emphasizes the ongoing nature of an action. So, it's pretty much like the perfect aspect, but the emphasis is on the duration, how long. For example, the present perfect continuous can be used to show an action that started in the past and is still going on. For example, I've been working for this company for 5 years. I started working there 5 years ago, and I'm still working for the same company. I've been studying since early morning. I'm so tired. I haven't seen Josh for almost 3 months. I wonder how he's been doing all this time. You'll often see how long this action has been going on. For example, for 5 years, since early morning, all this time, since July. Look at this sentence again. I haven't seen Josh for almost 3 months. I wonder how he's been doing all this time. I haven't seen is a short action, so we use the present perfect. The emphasis is on the result, that I haven't seen him. He's been doing all this time is a long action, so we use the present perfect continuous. The emphasis is on the duration, how he's been doing all this time. Now, wait a minute, you say. What about the sentence, I've worked for this company for 5 years? What's the difference between this sentence and I've been working for this company for 5 years? Well, they are very similar, and many people use them interchangeably. However, there is a slight difference. As I showed in the previous example about Josh, the present perfect emphasizes the result of an action, while the present perfect continuous emphasizes its duration. So the difference between these two sentences lies primarily in the emphasis and the aspect of time being conveyed. I've worked for this company for 5 years. This sentence emphasizes the completion of the period of time. It does state how long this action has continued, but the stress is still in the result. Example, I've worked for this company for 5 years, and I've learned a lot. The important thing is that I've learned a lot during this time. Now, I've been working for this company for 5 years emphasizes the ongoing nature of the work. It highlights the continuous action. Example, I've been working for this company for 5 years, and I've made a lot of friends during this time. As you can see, both sentences indicate that the person has been with the company for 5 years. But the first one focuses on the fact that the 5-year period has been completed, while the second one suggests an ongoing process. We can also use the present perfect continuous to talk about things we've been doing recently or lately. Similar to the present continuous, these are some temporary actions. For example, you look tired. What have you been doing lately? I've been working a lot. I've been going to the gym a lot recently. He's been working on an important project for the last couple of months, so he's quite busy. So, we use the present perfect continuous to show the duration for 2 weeks, for 6 months, or with lately or recently. And all these actions started in the past and have continued until now. Now, the past perfect continuous shows an action that has continued up to a certain time or event in the past. She had been cooking dinner for 2 hours by the time I came home. They had been cleaning the house the whole morning before they went to work. Again, we can see the duration for 2 hours the whole morning. Compare. She had cooked dinner by the time I came home. The emphasis is on the result. The action was completed. The dinner is waiting for me on the table. 2. She had been cooking dinner for 2 hours by the time I came home. The emphasis is on the duration. She spent the whole 2 hours doing it, and when I came home, I saw her in the process of cooking. So, the present perfect continuous shows an action that has continued up to now. The past perfect continuous shows an action that had continued up to a certain event or time in the past. Now, the future perfect continuous shows an action that will continue up to a certain event or time in the future. By 11 p.m. tomorrow, they will have been working on this project for 10 hours. She will have been studying for 4 years by the time she graduates. That's it. We've covered all the tenses. The final thing is to look at the way they're all formed. Let's look at our table again. Present tenses. Present simple. Base verb, add s or es for third person singular. I work, he works. Present continuous. Am is are plus verb plus ing. I'm working, he is working, you're working. Present perfect. Have has plus past participle. I have worked, he has worked. Present perfect continuous. Have has been plus verb plus ing. I have been working, he has been working. Let's move on to the past tenses. Past simple. For regular verbs, use the formula verb plus ed. For irregular verbs, use their second form. I worked, he worked. I went, he went. Past continuous. Was were plus verb plus ing. I was working, he was working, you were working. Past perfect. Had plus past participle. I had worked. He had worked. Past perfect continuous. Had been plus verb plus ing. I had been working. He had been working. Now, the future tenses. Future simple. Will plus base verb. I will work. He will work. Future continuous. Will be plus verb plus ing. I will be working. He will be working. Future perfect. Will have plus past participle. I will have worked. He will have worked. Future perfect continuous. Will have been plus verb plus ing. I will have been working. He will have been working. These are the 12 English tenses you should know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to practice each one by writing little sample sentences about yourself. You can leave them in the comments below. I wish you all the best on your language journey. Good luck!
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really like the way Anastasia teaches. She was the one who helped me prepare for my latest TOEFL exam, which only happened like a month ago. She's also a Russian speaker, by the way, so we share a lot of common things. And please let me know in comments down below if you like the format. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next videos.